Hi, I'm Karen Livingstone, and I've actually got Josh Webb here from Webb Performance. And Josh, you've represented Australia in various sports. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, heritage is very sports orientated, been for a long time. Originally scholarship to the RAS with beach volleyball, which represented Australia for many years, and then kind of shifted them away through a few different sports, being boxing, Ironman World Championships, which have competed for Australia in both the 70.3 and the full distance, half Ironman and the full one in Hawaii. So yeah, I've been around the blocks when it comes to training. I understand what the demands on the body are, and oxidative stress and a few of those things that I'm sure we'll be talking about. But I've kind of gone full circle now, and then started to build and develop my business and brand, being Webb Performance.
Fantastic.
I think there was a big gap there with athletes and educating athletes around what's happening to their bodies and what they can do to better it, and also not just during their sporting career but also after that.
So you mentioned oxidative stress.
Yeah.
That's a really big thing for athletes, isn't it?
Massive. I think the awareness around it is kind of unaware, as I suppose, but for what we're trying to do now is achieve to get awareness around what it is and how it's created, and everyone has it regardless of how good their DNA is. So what we try to do is educate around what oxidative stress is and how it affects their body and how it affects their performance as well.
Okay, and so with your athletes, because you're training a lot of athletes, and particularly in the motorsport industry, can you tell us what's the approach that you take?
Yeah, I mean, Webb Performance, we mainly deal with just motorsport athletes, professional motorsport athletes, all categories, V8 supercars, open wheelers, Porsche Carrera Cup GTs. Our initial process is we start them off with the DNA testing, because as far as we're concerned, we need to know exactly what their baseline and how their structure is. We don't like to go near someone before we get that done, just so we can understand the baseline of where they're at, what kind of training they should be doing, nutrition, how their DNA makeup is, and how much oxidative stress they might be carrying. So for instance, that's where the supplements start to come in for us, and how we can start to build up their baseline and actually educate them around how many they need to be having of what cell longevity is, or ATP, and how it's going to affect their system, and how it can actually build that extra 1% in performance into their plan.
Individualised.
Exactly right. I mean, there's no one-stop shop. You've seen a million diets out there now, around supplements, you name it. There's so many things and fads around. I've been around the block, I've heard it all before, but at the end of the day, it's about understanding each athlete at its core. And I think if we can do that, we can start to actually build the performance, and it's quite easily to do now. I don't know if you've mentioned Andre Heimgartner, for one, for someone who we got his DNA done, and we could actually understand that he was gluten intolerant, and he was holding a lot of oxidative stress in his body, and that was coming out through his skin with some eczema issues as well. Within 3 weeks of him getting that out of his diet and upping his ATP and glutathione through cell longevity, he actually negated that completely out of his system. So now he's got irritation, skin-free results, which is fantastic, as well as performance going up. He's lost weight, lost body fat, his strength's gone up. So that's just one example.
And so how do you promote the use of glutathione? Obviously, you're saying that they do their DNA.
Yeah.
And so do you tell them that they need to continue taking ATP so that they can lift their energy during races? Yeah,
I mean, initially I usually started off with ATP with athletes, because I give them something to trial and give them a run for.
Yep.
For instance, a lot of athletes, professional athletes, get handed a lot of things to try. So they've all been very dubious around it as well. So I think the best way to do it is actually hand them a packet and just say, look, give it a go, see how they feel.
And that's what happened to you, wasn't
Exactly
it?
right. That's what Sue Barron did for me when I was competing for Ironman World Championships. I got a bit addicted to that feeling, and I wanted to know a little bit more, and that's where my education came around it, because I thought this is too good to be true in a way. So once we started to learn about it, then it just kind of the truth's in the pudding, I guess.
Yeah. Josh, 1%, can you tell us a little bit about what the 1% is?
Yeah, we've built a new brand around 1%, and I think it's creating the 1% difference, and I think this comes into that play of we're offering a different percentage for our athletes to find that extra 1%, because they're all fit, they're all doing their training, but really understanding that the body at its core is building that 1% difference. So getting rid of oxidative stress, for instance, I'm guaranteeing that's more than 1%, but if we can give them, essentially more than 1%, that's a benefit. But that's what we're trying to do. I mean, the difference between first and second is 1%. So if we can give them that 1% edge, and that's exactly what we're after.
And the results?
Results have been fantastic in the last 6 weeks. So the last 3 major events, we've had podiums all over the shop. So very proud of our athletes, and it's just true. It's credit to them how hard they've been pushing, and now they've found that extra gear. And I think it's accumulated of a few different things. You know, these guys are pushing really hard, but also they're understanding their body and their genetics a lot better as well. And adding in these supplements of ATP and Cellgevity is giving them that extra gear to be able to back up training day after day. To get that volume in their training week as well, without having that bottom out effect, and being able to back it up without any inflammation in their body.
And immune response?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Cam Waters was an instance for that. He was one of those bodies that holds a lot of oxidative stress in his system. Was wondering why he was getting sick every second event. He just thought it was just down to stress, which it is. Obviously, that increases oxidative stress in the body as well. But you know, being diligent with his supplementation of Cellgevity has definitely cleared that out of his system. So that was just one example, and now he's very diligent, and having that DNA breakdown and being able to say, oh, this is how your body is, it's a lot different to me telling him what's wrong, you know, and then them understanding that at its core is a lot easier for them to go, okay, well, I understand that now, and then actually make the application. Now he's very diligent with taking the Cellgevity, and he's getting results.
Yeah, compliance is a really big thing, isn't
Consistency and compliance, I mean, that's number one. That's how you get results, and that's how you find an extra 1% as well.
Yeah. Well, we wish your athletes all the best, and continue with the glutathione and the Max products, and we appreciate you know, you talking about it today for us.
I mean, all our athletes are taking it now, and I think it's fundamental for what we do at Webb Performance. You know, Sue's probably getting sick of me calling up, I need another box, but that's just what's happening now. People are starting to understand, and every athlete I've trialled on it has been, well, what was that supplement? Especially if it was an older gentleman that's been racing as well, who's just stepped up to Carrera Cup, Graham Williams. He's in his 50s now, and he was probably the biggest responder on the ATP. He said it was a massive result, like he just felt that he got out of the car, and for him that's quite a testament to the product as well. But a lot going on.
It's contagious.
It is. Yeah, we'll keep everyone updated with how we're going, as I'm sure everyone's been seeing on social media. But yeah, we'll keep everyone in the loop.
And remember,
that's it. 1%.